Good morning, students. Now, today I will continue with the constructors. In the last class, we have seen types of constructors and some programs regarding default and parameterized constructors. Now, in today's class, we find some more examples of calling parameterized constructors in different ways, and also some programs on parameterized constructors, default, and as well as the other one, third type, copy constructors. Now, we have seen let us look at the program. So this program is about about a class by the name test. There are two private members, integer test number and float marks. Here's a default constructor. The definition is like this: default constructor CM. Then test number is equal to 0, marks is 0. Then I have defined a parameterized constructor. Test int test number float marks. Test number is equal to t number, marks is equal to mark. Now there is another constructor I have defined here. I will explain why this is defined a little later. It is like test. There is only one variable argument int here, and that is initialized to the test number, first data member. Marks is initialized with the 0. Next member function, the common member function display cout test number and marks. End of the class. In the main we have the creation of objects. Look at that, I will explain. First t1 object t1 is created. That I will comment now. Test t1 of 1 comma 95 I have written. Second one that I will enable. Now look at the comment of this. Here there I have written the comment like implicit call. There is another object created, test t2. It calls the default constructor, as you know. The first object t1 calls the parameterized constructor. There is another one which calls the another constructor I have defined using only one variable. Correct? Now let me explain what is implicit call. Implicit call. See, when you create an object in this way, right, just name of the class and the object name, and in parentheses directly the arguments in the given sequence. It is called implicit way of calling the constructors. That means object name and directly within parentheses the arguments. There is another way of calling the constructors, execution of invocation of constructors. That is called explicit call to the constructor. Now look at this line, first line which I have commented down. If you write in this way, test t1 is equal to test of 1 comma 85.50, some value of percentage I have written, anyway, two arguments. This is called explicit call. Now look at the way it is written. Test t1 is equal to, once again, name of the constructor or class and the arguments. This is called explicit. Again, you have to write the name of the constructor. But in the first case, implicit call, we don't write the name of the class again. After the object name, directly we pass the arguments. Now, there is another type of invoking the constructors that is called using the equal to sign at the time of creating the object and directly assigning a value to the object. Now look at this. Here I am writing the third type in test 4, creating the object t4. Look at that. I have written equal to 5. That means this type of a constructor execution method can be used when there is only one data member in the class, or it can also be used when we assign a value to the first parameter, first data member I mean, and the other data members, if any, must be assigned directly in the constructor. Correct? Now I will repeat. Invoking the constructors for a class can be done using the three methods. First one is implicit call, like this test1, where we write just the name of the class and the object name followed by the parameters to the data members. Second method is explicit call by writing in this way, which I have commented right now. Later I will show you in the program how to execute that. Test t1 is equal to test of any number of parameters. Here we write an equal to sign and then name of the constructor again. The third type of invoking the constructor is using an equal to sign, T4, using an equal to sign, and then writing only one value. That means initializing a data member when there is usually only one data member in the class, we use this method. Directly, the value of the data member can be equated using the equal to sign at the time of creating the object. Correct? Now, I will execute this program. Now, before that, let me explain you about another constructor I have defined. Look at this. When I create the object T3 is equal to test of 10. This is explicit way of calling the constructor anyway. But look at that. In the parenthesis, I have given only one argument. Actually, this class contains how many data members? Two data members are there. Actually, we must have given two data values here as arguments, but I have given only one. This is possible because in this class I have defined a constructor like this. Can you observe here? Test int k, only one parameter I have defined, and that k, which is accepted as the parameter, is assigned to the test number, first data element, data member I mean. And marks is initialized with my own value. I will initialize it with the 0. Correct? So only one argument comes here from the parenthesis or from the actual argument when you create the object. I will run this program. Output I will show. See. So default constructor, first line is because of executing that object anyway. Test number 1, first test uses the parameterized constructor. Second test number 0 uses the default constructor. And test number 10 marks 0. Observe that I will be using the third type of a constructor with this execution invocation. Now I will make some changes here. Correct? Now suppose I use the third type, this one, test. I create one more object, T4, but assigning only one value directly. So this is possible when we have only one data member. Correct? I will show the execution of this one. Save this. See, test number 5 marks 0. Why it takes? See, because in this case, when I create this object in the main T4, what happens actually? The only one value assigned will be given to the which one? Will be given to as described in this constructor. The test number. So test number k is 5 is assigned to this test number and the marks will become 0. I'll change the marks. Suppose I will make it 20. You can see that whether this constructor is being used or not. Compile, execute, and show the output. See, we're getting that last output line. Test number 5, which I have created using the fourth object T4. Test number 5 I have given only one value directly assigning. The marks is automatically taken from the constructor. Correct? So we have seen three types of invoking the constructors. One is by implicit, one is by explicit, and one is using the direct assignment. Now I will remove these unnecessary things. This one. Instead of this one, I will use this one. This one I will use using the explicit way. Implicit we have seen. Test T2 is default constructor. This also I don't use. T2 is not there. Then I will be using T1 object and I will be using T4. T1 and T4 and T3 also I am not using. T4. Let's say the problem. First one is marks 85.5 and the second one is marks 20 T4. First constructor is the parameterized constructor, as you can see. T1 uses the parameterized constructor using explicit call. These are different ways of calling the constructor. Now let us go to another program. Now look at this class. Class integer. I'm writing in short INTE. We make it integer. Int m and n are the two numbers, two data members. I mean, which are in this section. In private section, I have not written that. If you don't write the access specifier, it is by default private. In public, we have the constructor integer default constructor where m is 0 and n is 0. And here is the parameterized constructor. Look at that. I have written only one data member here. I mean only one argument. That is why I am assigning this one to m. The next one I am directly giving. It may be 0 or whatever. So even if this constructor shows that even in the previous program we have seen, even if you pass only one argument, it is possible to make use of this constructor, provided the second data item, I mean data member, I directly assign the value here in the constructor definition. So this is a pure parameterized with the two arguments here, int a and b. I will assign m to a and n to b, and there is also a statement like this parameterized constructor. Now this is a program where I will use some friend function which I don't require now. So there are some errors. I will close this program now. We don't require this program. Look at this program. Class base public int a. Now let us see the program. This is a program using some inheritance. You don't need this one. Now we'll go to the copy constructor. Class code. Yes. In this program, we see the third type of constructor. Already we have seen default and parameterized. Now, first we shall see the copy constructor. Here is an example. Class code int id. Public code. It is a default constructor. id is 0. The class also has a parameterized constructor. There is only one member. So int a, id is equal to a. Now look at this definition. This is a copy constructor. Copy constructor, as you know, the syntax is class name, sorry, the constructor name, I mean the class name ampersand the obj, and inside that we write id is equal to x dot id, because x is a reference to the already existing object of a class. Why do you use the copy constructor? Because it is used to copy an object which is existing to the newly created object. So the data members of already existing object of a class are copied to the newly created object. Displays a normal function to display the output of id. Next in the main, look at that, code a of 100. I created the first object a by passing 100 as the value of id. I create another object b which I pass 200. Next c I will create, look at that, the way I create the c object by passing an already existing object a as a parameter. Here it calls the copy constructor. We are creating another object c. The parameter passed is the already existing object. That means in object a we have the value of id as 100. So the same value id 100 will become the value of the id of the object c. Correct. Object c also has the value of its data member id. How much? 100 only, because a is copied. Now next statement, code d is equal to b. Look at that. This is also another way of calling the copy constructor. I equate the object b to d. I am creating a new object d, for which I assign the value of the data member of the b object, which is 200. Now another object is created, code e, which is using the default constructor anyway. Now, if I use a statement like D is equal to A, I can write this. D is equal to A. The object D is assigned with the object A. Is also possible. This does not use any copy constructor because the object is already created. Now, I will be displaying this. See, then first ID of A will be using 100 ID, so it will display 100. B dot display displays 200. C dot display, how much it should display? C is the copy of A, that is why it displays 100. Yeah, it displays 100. And D dot display, D is the copy of B, then it must display 200. The last one, E must display how much? 0, default construct. And execute. See the outcome. A is 100, B is 200, C is again copy of A 100. This is the copy of B 100 and E is 0, as you can expect. So copy constructor is a very simple constructor. By this program you have learned. It is used to create a copy of the existing object. Yeah. Close this. Another one. It's a similar program. Now let us see this program. Same program, small changes there. Class code, int ID, public code, default constructor ID is 10, code parameterized constructor ID is A, code copy constructor ID is equal to x dot id. But here I'm adding one statement, x dot id is equal to 55. Now look at this. What is x? X is a reference to the already existing object of a class. Now, when I pass this one from the main, see here, see, in these two statements, b of a, the value of a will be copied to b, and creating c also. To create the object c, I will be copying the value of b. So all a, b, c will become 100 for the value id. And code D, object D uses the default value given in a default constructor, that is 10 in this case. Now see, when you have a statement to modify the value of id within the copy constructor, like what I am passing now in the main is 100, but there it is made as 55. There is a command. See, we use the const keyword to avoid this. That means when you modify the code of a constructor, it is possible to change the value which is uh, given from the main. I will run the program, you will understand. See the output. ID of A is 55, ID of B is 55, C is also 55, ID of D is 10 because ID of it is a default constructor. ID of D is again is printed. Now look at this. What are you passing here? Value 100 you are passing, but what you are getting the output of ABC is 55. Why? Because there you change it. No matter how much you pass, here I pass 10, maybe 200 or 400, whatever the value. Look at that. The value gets modified. The constructor itself modifies the value. See, it is 55. Why it's happening like this? Because see, here in the definition of this one we have written like this. If you are not writing this one, the original value is passed. The original value is passed. See, A is 400, B is 400, D, C is also 400. Anyway, C, D is 10 there. Now, see, this one you can avoid these things even if you have a statement by writing a constant keyword here. You can avoid this one from happening. See, and run the program. Right? You cannot do this, correct? So when you have this type of a statement here, I mean keyword in the definition of the copy constructor, this gives a security that whatever the value you pass from the main, that only has to be given to the object. There is no chance to change the value which is given from the main. Correct? You cannot write a statement x dot id is 55, or you cannot change it here. It is not possible to change because it is defined to be constant. It's a kind of security given in constructors. Right? See, whatever the value you are passing is given there. Right? Now I will write a simple program to illustrate explicit and implicit way of. Let's take the class student int age float percentage public. I'm taking for the simplicity only two data members, int age and float percentage public. I will define a parameterized construct student int a float percentage p. Next, I should write the definition that age is equal to a and percentage is equal to p. Right? Definition of parameterized function. Now I will just write one display function. So age and percentage. Next, end of the class. Then void main. Student s1 dot Yes, look at that. That's what I want to explain. Student int a float p is the parameterized constructor I have created here. This program, I did not define any default constructor. That is why you cannot create an object like this. Are you getting this? So this must use the default constructor. Where is the default constructor here? It is not given there. So once you are writing the default constructor here, I will add now. Sign age is equal to 70 and percentage is equal to 98. This is what I have assigned. Now save, execute the program. Look at that. It will run perfectly because I have defined a parameterized constructor. Right? Age and percentage is equal to 79, 90, 80. Now see, in the program, earlier I have not defined a default constructor. Now in this case, parameterized constructor is not called. Now I will call the parameterized constructor. Age I will pass like 16, percentage 85. The same object I will modify. What is the output expected? Age and percentage are 16 and 85. Now in this case, it will not use any default constructor. So in a program, when you are sure that you are not at all using the default constructor, it need not be defined. But in case, suppose in this program, you define one more object like suppose yes2 without giving any arguments, then it must use default constructor. You must have defined it, otherwise it gives an error. So to be on the safer side, so in this case, if you run the program, since there is a default constructor already defined, there is no problem in running the code. See, whatever is given in the default, that will be executed. And even yes2 dot display, if you make it, it displays the value, whatever is available. See, suppose I remove this default constructor is not used. You don't find a match for student because you are using the default constructor. You cannot use this like this. Even yes, no, yes, to you cannot create because it uses default constructor. Now here I will add a copy constructor to create a copy constructor. Student ampersand obj. So the code line I should write is age is equal to obj dot age and percentage is equal to obj dot percentage. That is the definition of the copy constructor. So here, if you create an object which is a copy of the existing object, look at that. S2 dot display. I try S2 dot display. Even S1 dot display also I will add. See, two objects are copies of each other. I'm creating another object S2, which is a copy of S1 using the copy constructor. Simple. Now I'll explain the invocation of constructors. So this one, as we know, this is implicit cop because I am using here just object name and within parenthesis directly the arguments. Now if you use in this way, is equal to, once again student, the name of the constructor, and then this becomes explicit cop, correct? Explicit cop by writing this one again. Now, in case you have only one data member, as I told, then you can use the third type of invocation. That means, suppose I will remove this one, only one data member. Suppose this contains only one data member. It's anyway not there. Parameterized only one data. I'll modify the program. Percentage is not there. When copy constructor, this statement is not there. Age and each or each is equal to percentage. The main I create for the student. This one is the age only. Third class is the copy. And here, suppose I create one S2 object directly giving the value, suppose 20. Right? The value of S2 is directly given as the value here. Right? Declaration problem. There, I think display this one is in parentheses. See, age is 20. So the second object S2 uses the invocation of a constructor using equal to sign with only direct value. So there, since there is only one data member age here, the value given 20 here is directly assigned to the age of the object S2. In this case, I will be giving the age value as an argument. So using these programs, you have seen how to execute programs with the constructors using three methods of invoking, especially parameterized constructors: explicit invocation, implicit invocation, and invoking using the equal to sign by directly assigning the value of the data map. Thank you.